This series, examining how to be a successful owner-operator, is brought to you by Michelin Canada. Michelin, a better way forward.
So Ray, as an owner-operator, you need to insure your truck. You also need to insure your livelihood. But for starters, when it comes to the truck, how much choice do you have? Are you going to just go with whatever your carrier presents to you, or will you shop around on your own? What's the best way to insure your vehicle?
I think when you're shopping for carriers, you should also, that should be a line item for you. What's the insurance package look like? So when I say that, what are the deductibles? You know, are they large deductibles? And if they are, do they have a vehicle that you can buy that deductible amount now? And if they, you know, some carriers have now $25,000 deductibles, $10,000 deductibles, but they also offer a buy down deductible. So for a small amount of money, you might be able to buy that $10,000 down to $1,000, something manageable. You also need to know, you know, what the liability amounts are, collision amounts. Make sure that there's single deductibles. Majority of insurance policy call for a single deductible, but let's say that not all of them. So you get in an accident, not your fault, the tractor's damaged, the trailer's damaged, and the cargo's damaged. Is that 3 deductibles, or does one deductible cover the entire incident? You also need to know about contents insurance. You know, it's not uncommon for a truck to be broken into and maybe your TV stolen and all the rest of your goodies that are in that. And does the carrier have something for that? Typically what they do is they'll tell you to refer back to your home policy contents for your truck. But if you're living in an apartment and don't have a lot, you might not have that. Maybe most of what you've got's in that truck. I've seen that many times, and if that's disrupted, you don't have anything to cover that. So you've got to know about all those items.
Because your insurance is largely based on the premiums that your carrier is being charged by their insurance provider, I guess that's all the more incentive to partner with a safe carrier so that you're paying as smallest premiums as possible.
Oh, that's absolutely right. I mean, the single owner operator going out there obviously has to shop a lot, and there's some reputable brokers that they can go talk to try to get them a reasonable payment, but I mean, you can be the best guy in the world. Typically, you're not going to get that premium below $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a year. And with a carrier, I know who has some power buying because of the volume of trucks that they have and has a good record. It's not unreasonable to get that cut in half or less. So it's a huge operating advantage on that line item anyways to be with a carrier.
Okay. And does the same hold true with your cargo insurance as well? Will the carrier's policy generally cover the cargo that you're pulling? Yeah,
typically that's right. They're going to cover cargo too. It's actually a provision of their operating authority. They have to file a Form E and a Form H in the U.S. It's called, and you know that shows FMCSA that they have liability insurance and cargo insurance.
Well, a couple less things for me to worry about as the owner-operator then.
Yeah, just go back to the deductible and exactly what the fine print says. You know, you might want to ask that carrier if you're shopping for a carrier, you know, what's happened. You know, have you had any incidents lately? Obviously, anybody can go online now and look up SaferStat and see what the carrier rating is, which might be a good thing for the prospective owner-operator to do when they're shopping for a carrier. But you know, how many instances have they have? Are they willing to talk about those, and what have the implications been to the owner-operator and all those things?
Where an owner-operator does have some choice is in insurance for their own health, which is vital if this is your livelihood, as it is in most cases. So should an owner-operator be looking at private health insurance above and beyond what is available from the province?
Most definitely. There's a lot of good products out there right now. NAL has a great out-of-province medical program. If you're leaving the province, you need to have something. Typically, trucking companies opt out of WSIB for their owner-operators, and they go to the private insurance side, and the owner-operators pay for that. And that might sound onersome, but it's really not. It's quite a bit cheaper than WSIB. It also is a 24/7 product. It has all the bells and whistles that a WSIB does, but times 2, and it's typically 50% cheaper. So, you know, that can look like anything you want as far as what they want the package to look like, but it could be income replacement, make a truck payment for you, give your family some security should you be in a situation where you have an injury that's going to be a long-term problem. So there's you definitely need to have something to cover yourself off in case something does happen to you. You know, it's never going to happen to me. Doesn't cut it, and there's obviously lots of numbers that show that people have accidents and they get hurt, and you know, it's pretty sad to see that happen to somebody who's trying to do all the right things, and then they're taken out of the truck for a month or two, or worse than that, they lose everything they have. So
it sounds like it's very much a matter of working with a provider to build a package that addresses your own individual concerns.
That's right. Some carriers have great programs that the owner-operators have access to, so you check that out, and that might be part of your checklist when you're looking for you know, a carrier too. They have drug programs and dental programs that you might be able to leverage off of. But as far as going down the road and you know, what might happen in you know, in case of an accident, then you need to be shopping that, or the carriers sometimes will have those programs that's mandatory to make sure that their guys don't run into those types of problems. And again, they're 24/7, so you know, you're home on the weekend, you know, fixing an eave trough and fall off the ladder, you're covered. You know, you break your ankle on a curb, you're covered. You're not covered with WSIB in those situations, and you're exposed badly if something like that should happen. So you need to make sure you're looking after things.
So Ray, while the cargo component of the insurance coverage is going to be offered by the carrier, what can I do to make sure we don't need that? Are there things I can do on the road to minimize the risk of being victimized by cargo thieves?
Cargo theft has just been rampant in the last decade, as we all know. I think you know, Chicago was the worst place in North America here 6-7 years ago, and I think 2 years ago it was Toronto. So you know, most carriers are going to have some policy on cargo and where you can park the tractor and what you should watch out for. So you need to know what those policies are, and a lot of them are you know, they're done by working with their insurance company to see where the trouble spots are. And obviously there's just some no-brainer things, padlocks and parking in lit areas and not parking in areas that might look seedy. I mean, some of them are very obvious things that you can do, and you know, backing your trailer up against something else that nobody can open the door with. It's just, you got to be really careful and keep your wits about you, and you know, fifth wheel locks, whatever you can do. And they're not expensive items, these things, but they might help stop a claim. And you know, I've seen all kinds of these things and have had to deal with them firsthand. And it doesn't really matter what you have on the vehicle. I have seen, you know, 45,000 pounds of candy canes and frozen turkeys and aluminum ingots and things that you think that really have no value to anybody, but they're gone and they're stolen. And you know, I think in some cases it's a situation where you know, people are just talking casually on the CB radio, and what are you hauling today? Well, that's nobody's business what you're hauling. You know, if you're going to say something, tell them you're hauling mule skins, raw mule skins, or something ugly. But don't tell anybody on the CB, of course, what you're hauling in that thing that might attract the wrong element. But the rest of it's looking what your carrier has for policy, where you can park, where you can't park, and then just taking the extra step yourself to make sure you don't expose yourself to an insurance claim and something that's really disruptive to you and your customers.
Well, Ray, you've provided a wealth of information through the course of this 10-part video series, a lot of practical real-world tips that owner-operators can use to improve their chances of being successful. Any closing thoughts from you?
A couple closing thoughts. You know, I've been around this industry more years than I like to admit, but I've seen a lot of failure and I've seen a lot of success, and there is room for profitable, well-run single truck operations in the industry. And I think if you manage your money and you manage your time and you look after your equipment, you can make it in this industry. And this is just a fabulous industry that I absolutely love. But if you look at all the carriers that are out there, I say all the carriers, the vast majority of carriers that are out there, they're started with one man or one person and one truck. And you know, those people stuck their necks out, they went out and they became small businesses and they saw opportunity and they went for it, and now they are the backbone of this industry. So, you know, that was kind of my dream when I got going, is I wanted to have more than one truck and just got some good brakes. But you can do it, you can make it if you stay focused on the goal, don't drop the ball, and stay disciplined. There's room in this industry for more winners, and I wish the people who are watching this all the luck in that regard.
Well, that's great to hear. Thank you very much.